Welcome to Enlightenment Unknown, Life of a Spiritual Nomad. Join Reiki Master and Quantum Healing expert Wes Coons as he guides listeners through the depths of self-discovery and spiritual enlightenment to uncover the version of you we haven't met yet. Hello and welcome to Enlightenment Unknown, Life of a Spiritual Nomad, behind the scenes of episode 4. Wes, that was quite an episode. You kind of took us off the haunted house path to tell us a little bit about your gifts.
Yeah, we wanted to change it up a little bit, make it a little fun, and kind of bring listeners up to, roughly 60 days into it. There was beautiful things that were happening along with the other stuff. And I wanted to make sure everybody understood that.
Yeah, I found it very interesting, all of those stories that you shared with us. And why do you think you particularly can see these things? Do you think everyone can, or do you think you are somehow special and chosen to see these?
When I started realizing and seeing that these gifts were actually real, being clairvoyant is real, and clairaudient, all those things. I thought everybody'd be the same, but they're not. Everybody is as unique as your own fingerprint. And, I don't know why. I don't know why me. I mean, I'm the least likely person ever. I'm a retired Marine. I own a real estate business. It is not a lifestyle that I understood or subjected myself to. Quite frankly, I'd be like a bunch of freaking weirdos. I'm staying away from you. We ain't hanging out.
Right.
Yeah.
But look where you are now.
Hey, I recognize that God put something in front of me, and I'm smart enough to know that I ain't turning my back on that.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I have known about your gifts and the incredible work that you can do for a while now. And there have been occasions where I have recommended to people, oh, you should see Wes. Wes can help you. And when they hear about what you do, they say, oh, no, thank you. I'm a Christian. What do you say to that?
Yeah. Hey, I'm a Christian. I'm an ordained minister. And everybody is entitled to their opinion and their beliefs. And I think had I not gone through this, if somebody had mentioned it to me, I'm not going. I'm not going to go show up at some crazy dude's place. And it's funny. So many people, when they show up, they're like, oh, I thought you would have a man bun and tattoos and nose rings and be singing Kumbaya, and you're like 6'1", 235-pound Marine, and you cuss. So
and you type with 2 fingers.
I type with 2 fingers, and I don't fit the stereotype, and so I'm not here to convince somebody. I'm not here to change somebody's mind. I am here doing God's work because I know it's God. I believe it. And in one of the episodes coming up, Andrea, we're going to go through and I'm going to show you where Jesus brought me into a vision and took me to him being crucified, and I touched his feet in extraordinary detail. And you have to remember, I probably went to church 2 or 3 times in my life. I didn't know Jesus was a Jew. I didn't know the Romans had crucified him. I knew nothing because I was so angry from the trauma I experienced as a child. I felt Jesus should have pulled me out of that room and not let that happen. And we're going to talk about that healing where the priest helped me understand he's not there to pull me out of the room. He's there to love me unconditionally.
Yeah. And that's something that I know we have talked about, and I believe personally, like, I believe that the whole reason for life is unconditional love.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And that is the vibration that Jesus carries. And I don't know if I answered that question 100%. The reason I'm telling the story is because somebody is receptive to it. It's going to resonate with them. And that's the person I'm speaking to. I'm not going to try to argue with somebody. I'm not going to debate with somebody. You are entitled to your opinion, and I respect that. But the person that needs to hear the message, that's who I'm talking to. And that's what Jesus did. Not everybody accepted him when he was running around. Not everybody said they didn't crucify him because they loved him.
Right.
Yeah. So this message is for the person that's looking for it.
Yeah, and it'll find them. I have another question. So you told us in detail about the couple instances when you were a child where you saw things, maybe tapped into these gifts. So did you not experience anything from the time you were maybe 10 until this haunted house?
Yeah, for the most part. Well, I tell you what, I take that back. There was an instance when I was in the Marines and I was living with this girl, and you know that Jimmy Buffett song where he sings about he lived with a few?
No.
Yeah, well, there's that song. Well, I've lived with a few. I'm just saying. So I lived with this girl, and the house, the apartment was haunted. And we did have that experience, and where the cross on the wall would fall off the wall every night at 7:00, and things would fly across the room, and I'd wake up in the middle of the night just having night terrors, ripping the furniture apart in the room. And we ended up moving out of that apartment. The apartment complex let us move, and the second we lived in another apartment, it went away. So I've experienced that, but for the most part, anything else, no. Mm-mm. You know, I always believed ghosts were real, but that was the extent of it. You know, I never thought, I thought maybe there might be a higher power, but I wasn't going to subscribe to, Jesus and all that stuff. Ain't no way.
Yeah. And I like what you said about Sandra Grace, where she would keep telling you that more will be revealed, more will be revealed. And do you feel like there's still more that is unfolding for you every day? Or do you feel like you pretty much see it all now?
No, I haven't even scratched the surface. I haven't scratched the surface because I hear all the time, why am I here? I'm going to answer that question. You are here to be a beacon of light on this planet. That's what you're here for. Whatever that beacon may be, you might not be a healer, you may not be a priest, but you can be a good person. And you can learn your lessons that are being presented in front of you. And I like to say I'm the breaker of chains. You can break the chains of addiction. You can break the chains of abuse. You can break the chains of homelessness. You can break the chains that have haunted your family for generations and change the destiny of your lineage. That's what you're here for. And I believe if you don't worry. Next time you'll do the same stuff over and over. And I don't want to do this over again.
You're done.
I'm going to learn new ones.
Yeah.
I think next time I want to learn what it's like to be a rock star. That'd be cool.
All right. Do you have anything else? I think those are all the questions that I had from the last episode. Do you have anything you want to say before we sign off?
I just want to say thanks for listening to the podcast. We appreciate you. I hope there's pieces of this that resonate with you. And I wanted to say this. If you're sitting in your living room and you keep seeing something out the side of your vision, but when you look and it's not there, that is your third eye, your psychic abilities, seeing in other dimensions of things moving in the room. And when your human eyes turn to look at it, you can't see it. So everybody has something. And I bet almost everybody listening to this podcast has had that experience.
Yeah, I know I have.
Yeah. And just because you see something doesn't mean it's bad. We have angels, we have guides, we have all these beautiful things around us. It's really cool.
Yeah, I like that. Let's not lose sight of that. Just because we're talking about a haunted house right now, let's not lose sight.
Yeah, that took me a couple years to get used to because Sandra Grace is like, Wesley, stop. Not everything is bad. And I see stuff in my house all the time. I see little dogs running through here and other stuff. And I know they're guides and angels. Nothing dark is in my home. And it just makes me wonder, what does it really look like on the other side? What kind of fantasy land would that be to actually be able to see everything? And Sandra Grace could really see a lot of things. It was cool.
I would love to know.
Yeah, I miss her. She was beautiful. She's my friend. You can Google her, Sandra Grace Brooks. Her website is still up. And if you go to her website, you can see what a real angel looks like. There's pictures of it. So there's a picture of her working on somebody, and they had this special camera, and the angel is like really thin, and there's these golden lights, and you can see the fingers of the angel touching the person's kneecaps. You got to look it up.
That's interesting. I'm going to go look at that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
All right. Thank you, Wes. And thank all of you for listening. Get ready for episode 5 and all of those things that are coming with sending those slaves home.
Yeah, we're going to go through how we helped all these families cross over to the light. It was beautiful and extraordinary and freaky all at the same time.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. Thank you, Wes.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Enlightenment Unknown with Wes Coons, your guide on the quest for self-discovery and the version of you we haven't met yet.